Good evening and welcome to the December 3rd Bloomington Planning Commission meeting. The Planning Commission advises the City Council on development proposals, development standards, long-range planning, and transportation issues. Some items the Planning Commission has final decision authority for, and others the City Council will make the final decision. Planning Commission is made up of 7 volunteers. Tonight we have 7 here, so we're a full house. We have 3 agenda items for tonight, but before we begin, let's stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Mr. Markegard, before we begin, do you want to give some the public information on how to participate tonight?
Sure, Mr. Chairman. This is our 16th Planning Commission meeting since the pandemic started in March. So we have a remote meeting this evening. Just 2 people are present here in the council chambers. And all other commissioners, applicants, and staff are remote via WebEx. But we definitely do want public participation, and you can call in at any time at the phone number shown here, 952-563-8926. Or you can email us at planning@bloomingtonmn.gov, and staff will give you instructions on how to testify live. We'll have this number scrolling across the screen throughout the meeting tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Markegard. Ms. O'Day, do you have our first staff report for us?
Yes, I do. Just bear with me as I pull it up here.
Okay.
Can you see that okay?
We can.
All right, good. Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. Item 1 on your agenda this evening is for a conditional use permit for a daycare in an existing place of assembly.
Ms. O'Day, it looks like you still have the, you don't have the presentation mode up.
Oh.
Under
You see a bunch of panels or different screens?
See the main page and the second page behind it.
Is it this?
yes.
Duplicate?
Yep.
How's that?
There we go.
Okay, good. Thank you. So the site is 9900 Lindale Avenue. It's a site of Nativity of Mary just south of 98th and Lindale Avenue. Nativity of Mary is both a place of worship and a school. They've both been in operation for several decades. The daycare that's within the building, they received temporary approvals back in the 90s, and that approval expired, yet the operation had continued to this day. So this is more of a cleanup application. Here's the floor plan. The daycare is operated by Nativity of Mary. They provide care for up to 70 students, including before and after school care and care for preschoolers during the school day. There'd be no change in building footprint. They use the few rooms in the basement, which is circled in red on the plans, and they use the fellowship hall. They're proposing to construct a stage, some sound wall or walls, dividing walls and sound panels in the fellowship hall, and a building permit would be required for those minor improvements. And then lastly, staff noted several landscaping materials have been missing over the years, so a revised landscaping plan must be submitted before that building permit issuance. And then we are not aware of any concerns or complaints on this use, and I did not receive any correspondence with this application. And with that, we are recommending approval, and I believe that the representative of the school and church is on the line, should there be any questions.
All right, thank you, Ms. O'Day. Commissioners, are there any questions for staff? Commissioner Goldsman?
Thanks, Mr. Chair. One question I have for staff is just a process question. So we've had this sort of situation happen twice, at least in my tenure. Is there a process to catch these conditional use permits as they expire and notify the applicant that they need to renew? Is there a process to ensure that we, don't come years down the road with something that's been expired?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, Commissioner Goldsman. So I know that the temporary conditional use permits aren't around today, and I'm not sure what the process was back in that time. I think it was kind of up to the user to come to the city. I don't know if we had any sort of process to have them renew that temporary conditional use permit. But then again, I wasn't around back in the 90s. So maybe Glenn has a further comment on that.
Mr.
Yeah.
Markegard?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, it predates me as well. We do have a process today where we monitor expiring interim use permits. We no longer have the temporary conditional use permits, but we definitely monitor interim use permits and send out letters in advance of an expiration date. But going way back in time, we're not sure what the process was. So we occasionally come across a situation like this.
Is that good, Commissioner Goldsman? Is that
Yes, thank you.
okay? Any other questions for staff at this point from commission members? Not necessarily. Glenn, in the bottom box, the attendee list. I'm not sure I can see everybody. Okay. All right. No questions there. Is the applicant available to speak?
I am open to questions you may have.
Okay.
This is Joanne Rachel.
Oh, okay, Miss Rachel. Any commission members, are there any questions for the applicant? Not seeing any. Thank you, Miss Rachel. Appreciate that opportunity. Mr. Markegard, is there anybody online from the public or calling in that would like to speak to this item?
Mr. Chairman, nobody has pre-registered to speak on this item. I see one name I do not recognize, so we'll check in there.
Okay.
And then we'll check in with Mr. Pease. Mr. Ryan Pajak, I will unmute you now. Would you like to speak to this item?
No, thank you. I am the principal at Nativity of Mary, so I was joining the conversation to hear the proceedings.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Thank you. And Mr. Pease, I'll unmute you now. Do we have any other interested parties?
No calls.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Commission members, seeing nobody from the public that wishes to speak on this, I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing. Commissioner Roman?
So moved.
All right. We have a motion to close the public hearing. Is there a second? Commissioner Albrecht?
Second.
All right. We have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. All those in favor say aye by roll call. Commissioner Goldsman?
Aye.
Commissioner Corman?
Aye.
Commissioner Roman?
Aye.
Commissioner Albrecht?
Aye.
Commissioner Abdi?
Aye.
Commissioner Cookton?
Aye.
And I for myself. Motion passes. All right, commission members, is there any discussion on this item? If none, I would entertain a motion. Commissioner Cookton?
This looks like a good application. I don't see any concerns, and I'm happy to make that motion.
All right, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, in case PL 2020-208, having been able to make the required findings, I move to adopt a resolution approving a conditional use permit for a daycare within an existing place of assembly at 9900 Lindale Avenue South, subject to the conditions and code requirements attached to the staff report.
All right, thank you. We have a motion to approve the conditional use permit. Is there a second? Commissioner Goldsman?
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve and a second to approve a resolution approving a conditional use permit for a daycare facility in an existing place of assembly. All those in favor say aye by roll call. Commissioner Goldsman,
Aye.
Commissioner Corman,
Aye.
Commissioner Roman,
Aye.
Commissioner Albrecht,
Aye.
Commissioner Abdi,
Aye.
Commissioner Cookdon,
Aye.
and I for myself. Motion passes 7-0. That is a final decision unless an appeal is received by 4:30 on December 8th of this year. All right, Mr. Markegard, I understand you have some new information on item number 2.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, late this afternoon, we received an email from the applicant, which I have forwarded to each of you, requesting continuance of this item to the January 14th Planning Commission meeting. And we do have sufficient time on the agency action deadline, so staff does recommend continuing the item.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Markegard. Do we need to make any action on that to continue it to the 14th, or just?
We would need a motion.
We do need a motion. All right, commission members, hearing the applicant's wishes, Commissioner Roman,
I move to continue item number 2 to the January 14th, 2021 Planning Commission meeting.
all right, thank you. Is there a second? Commissioner Albrecht?
Second.
All right. All right, we have a motion and a second to continue item number 2 to the January 14th Planning Commission meeting. All those in favor say aye by roll call. Commissioner Goldsman,
Aye.
Commissioner Corman,
Aye.
Commissioner Roman,
Aye.
Commissioner Albrecht,
Aye.
Commissioner Abdi,
Aye.
and Commissioner Cookdon.
Aye.
All right, and I for myself, motion passes. That item will continue to the January 14th, 2021 Planning Commission meeting. Okay, item number 3, Mr. Markegard.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, every year the city prepares a capital improvement program, CIP, and the state law requires that the Planning Commission review any capital improvement for consistency with the comprehensive plan. So tonight we have the CIP before you for that review. Staff has reviewed all of the items in the CIP, and we believe that all items are consistent with the comprehensive plan. So we do recommend that you adopt a resolution this evening, making the finding of consistency. I would note the timing of the CIP process has changed a little bit. You are probably familiar with reviewing this item in the spring. The timing has been changed to correspond more closely with the budgeting process. So in the future, you'll be seeing this review in December, most likely. So tonight we do have on the line Lori Economy Scholler, the city's chief financial officer, who is available to answer any questions, although she does not plan a presentation. So with that, staff does recommend approval of the resolution.
All right, thank you, Mr. Markegard. Appreciate that. All right, just a reminder to the commission members that it is a finding of consistency with the comprehensive plan, and so this is not a public hearing. So really, it's a matter of discussion, questions, and a finding. So, are there any questions for staff from commission members, or any discussion? Commissioner Roman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't have any questions. Thank you to the staff. I know how much work goes into these long-range capital plans. They are time-consuming and often take twice as long as we envision for them to be accomplished. Regarding our scope of consistency with the comprehensive plan, I would say that technically, yes, it is consistent, although as I know those of you who've sat here with me before, I will point out that the investment in the sidewalk aspect is woefully lacking, which I know is a key component of the 2040 comprehensive plan. So I hope that in next year's plan or in our street rebuilds that the city puts some effort into that, because that is the one area that there's 1 or 2 sidewalk projects in there that are big, but other than that, we continue to double down on 50 years of suburban streets without sidewalks.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Roman. Are there any other comments by commission members? I think Commissioner Roman, you're echoing very much what was discussed last year from the Planning Commission, and I would second that we do have a lot of efforts to reduce greenhouse gases and sustainability, increase health, and the sidewalks and trails within the plan, I think could the effort on that could be increased, but overall I do also support that it is consistent with the comp plan. Any other discussion from commission members? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion to adopt the resolution if Commissioner Roman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to adopt the attached resolution finding that the combined 10-year capital improvement plan for the years 2021 to 2030, the CIP, is in compliance with the Bloomington Comprehensive Plan.
All right. Is there a second? Commissioner Corman?
Second.
All right. So we have a motion to adopt the attached resolution for the capital improvement plan and a second. All those in favor say aye. By roll call, Commissioner Goldsman?
Aye.
Commissioner Corman?
Aye.
Commissioner Roman?
Aye.
Commissioner Albrecht?
Aye.
Commissioner Abdi?
Aye.
Commissioner Cookdon?
Aye.
And I for myself. That passes. That resolution will move forward for consistency with the comp plan. And that completes item number 3, which completes our regular listed items for the December 3rd, 2020 Planning Commission meeting. Our next meeting will be December 17th at 6 p.m. Thank you.